Okay, so before we can look at an actual question on finding the term independent of x, I mean the middle term, let's look at this one first. A plus b. When you expand this, actually this is true in general. So we have a 2, a 1, actually a 0, and then an a to the power 2 plus a 2. This one will be a 1. Remember, these numbers are increasing all the way to 2. And then the powers of a and b are adding up to 2, like that. Like this. And then we have a 2 and a 2. And then b squared, like that. So as you can see, this one here is our middle term. And the r is always half of that, as long as this is an even number. So if the number is odd, then you can't have one midterm. You expect to have two midterms, because the fact that the power is a 2 means that you have three terms. 1, 2, 3. Remember, we start from 0 here. So 0, 1, 2. So in this case, r is equal to 0, r is equal to 1, r is equal to 2. So let's just look at exam questions on this. Find the middle term in the expansion of, let me erase this, x squared plus 2 over x to the power 8. This one had 4 marks. It was question 7 in 2024 GCE. So to do this, you want to start by finding your r, and your r is equal to, r for the midterm is equal to n divided by 2. So our n in this case is 8. So we can say our r is equal to 8 divided by 2, which is a 4. So now we can find this term using the binomial theorem, which states that for a plus b to the power n, I'm not going to list the other terms. I'll just list the general formula. So to the power n minus r, and then b to the power r. Yeah. So our n here is an 8, and then our r is 4, our a is x squared actually, then our b is 2 over x. So we can say 8, then 4, and the middle term is actually okay, our x there, and then we have our 8 minus r multiplied by our b is 2 over x. I almost said our r, I mean our midterm is independent of x, but I've just realized that this one has a power, so it's not the middle term. Okay, so our r here is a 4. Let me just correct this. So now we can simplify this. So we have 8 choose 4, and then this one is x squared. Then outside the brackets we have a 4, then 2 to the power 4, that's 16, then x to the power 4 is that. So we now can use our calculator. So from your calculator we can say 8 choose 4 and the answer is 70. So this one will be a 70 multiplied by x to the power 4 is, x squared to the power 4. This will be like this, multiplied by 16. I can write this x to the power 4 as x to the power negative 4, since it was a denominator there. And then using rules of indices, we know that when the bases are the same, let me just arrange the numbers nicely so that I can make my point clear. Yes, so 70 by 16 is 1020, and then when you are multiplying, you simply add the powers like that. So you have 1120, then x raised to the power 4. So this one will be our midterm for part A. And then for part B, our R will be n divided by 2. Remember, we're trying to find the midterm. So you just divide by this, and whatever you will get will be your R. You don't need to add or subtract anything here. So your R will be 10 divided by 2, which is 5. And then using this formula there, we can say n is 10, and then our R is 5. Of course, this term will be independent of x. And then we have x to the power 10 minus 5 multiplied by 1 over x. And of course, this is a negative raised to the power 5. So now we can punch our 10, choose 5, and this is 252 multiplied by, this is x to the power 5 multiplied by, this one will be a negative 1 over x to the power 5. So you can even cancel them out, but just to maintain the same method we used here, let's just say x to the power that, of course this will be a negative because of this. Then we can write this as x to the power negative 1. And then we have 252x to the power 5. And remember, when you are multiplying these two, you simply add the powers, bearing in mind that this one is a negative power. So this plus this will be a 0, which makes the whole thing 252, considering the fact that any number raised to the power 0 is 1. And finally, we have this one here. Given that 540 x to the power 6 is the middle term in the expansion of a plus x to the power n to the power 6, where a is a real number, find the value of a and of n. This was 2017 ECZ paper 1 question 7. Okay, so you can follow the same procedure. You have a plus this, then you can start by finding the midterm of this and then equate it to that. So to find the midterm of this, you can say r is equal to n divided by 2, where n is this one there. So our r will be 6 divided by 2, which is equal to 3. So we have a 6 and a 3 there, using this formula there. So this one should always be in your head, although it is provided on your cover page. Okay, so our a will be a raised to the power 6 minus 3. Then our x, remember we have a power n there, don't leave it out. So this is that. So now we are told that this term is equal to 540x to the power 6. So you can start by finding this, and then whatever you find, you equate it to this, or you can do it like this. So now 6 choose 3. This is a 20. This one is a 20. Then this will be a to the power 3. And then this one will be x to the power this times that, which is 3n. And then this is equal to 540x to the power 6. So now to solve such an equation, you look at the x and the x there. So these two x's must be exactly the same. So in short, what we are saying here is x to the power 3n must be exactly the same as x to the power 6. And the coefficients here, this is the coefficient of x to the power 6, and this is the coefficient of x to the power 3n. So these two coefficients must also be the same. So we have this being equal to 540. So now to solve for x here, we use the fact that two indices, two index numbers are said to be the same when the bases are equal and the powers are equal. So as you can see, these two numbers are the same. So that means even the powers must be the same. This is an x, this is an x. So the powers must also be the same. So that means our n is equal to 2. So this solves the first problem. Then to solve the second one, you can simply divide both sides by 20. And then I'll make it easy for myself. And then 2 into 5, this is 2, remainder 1. 2 into 4 14, this will be a 7. And then I can introduce the cube root to both sides. So the cube root of a cubed is a, and then the cube root of 27, this is a 3. So this solves the problem in full.